Man, this year is just insane with Square Enix. Square Enix have literally has been dropping the most banger games this whole year. Not only do we have Crisis Core being remastered coming later this year, we have another Final Fantasy VII expansion coming out. We have Final Fantasy 16 dropping. We also have a life simulator Final Fantasy based game dropping as well later this year, and then we just received a trailer by Valkyrie Elysium. Now, for some of you who may not know, there is actually a series that used to be way back a few years ago, back in the Nintendo DS era, called Valkyrie Profile. Now, this was a strategic turn-based game that it had its own niche. It definitely wasn't, in most cases, probably wouldn't be as popular as the Final Fantasy series, but it is definitely something that a lot of players love. And well, we just finally got a sequel to that, which would be Valkyrie Elysium. And this time around, instead of it being your more strategic turn-based 16-bit, how it used to be, it is definitely now following Square Enix's newer, how they have their games, the high-end graphics, the more action RPG-esque type of style. That combat, just by looking at the trailer alone, definitely feels like you're playing like Final Fantasy 15 or even some of the Final Fantasy 7 remakes, Intergrade, anything of that nature. As in today's standards for Square Enix, a lot of their games is definitely following that action RPG style of play. And I do know, and after doing a little bit of my research, a lot of players who used to play Valkyrie Profile may or may not like the fact of Valkyrie Elysium is definitely our action RPG, behind the back, over the shoulder type of style, and some people feel like this isn't the exact sequel that they needed from the original Valkyrie Profile series. And of course, this is following the Valkyrie storyline from the past, so it's definitely a sequel, but people want it to be a little bit better, if that makes sense. Now, just by looking at the gameplay alone, if we're not attaching it towards its predecessors, the game looks good, the soundtrack sounds beautiful. The trailer didn't show too much. I definitely can't wait to see more gameplay later throughout the line, or eventually finally be able to play it. But we do have a release date, September 29th 2022. Like, Square Enix has been making so many games, and that's the one thing I wanted to talk about today, is just like Valkyrie Elysium, Crisis Core. We have Final Fantasy 16 coming out next year. Like, Square Enix has really been showing out a lot of games. I see that ever since Final Fantasy like 15 and even Dissidia, when they remade that, they definitely have stepped back and realized like, hey, our players want a lot of games to be able to hold off until the next 5 to 10 or so years. But I wanted to show you guys this trailer today and let you guys know about Valkyrie Elysium. And just Square Enix has just been covering games. Other than that, if you guys want to check out more RPGs, then definitely click the card to your right. If you want to check out 5 gacha games that I've been playing recently that I feel like you guys will love, then definitely click the card to your left. It's been your host, KSTTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
Manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny. I ain't